For those of you that are tuning into this podcast, maybe for the first time, maybe you've been living under a rock. If you don't know Henry Cho, one of the funniest guys. One of my favorite bits is "What's that clicking noise?" I think that's a Netflix special as well.
Right.
You've seen him in movies and film and TV shows. One of my favorite things, and I don't know if I ever told you about this, was and probably wasn't even that big of a part, but I loved you in Revenge of the Nerds 3, the second chapter or whatever it was.
The three, yeah, we were the cool nerds.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's crazy. Yeah, that was. Oh wow, I think that was
You were doing like an Elvis impression.
right. So I get called in to do this audition, and they wanted me to be this uh, overweight samurai broken English guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in, and one of the producers who had produced the first two said, what can you do with this? We have you in here to see what you can do
Yeah,
because we know you won't do broken English.
right.
And this was a Friday, and I said, well, give me the weekend, and I'll come back in on Monday. And so I walked out, and there were a couple other Asian actors in the waiting room, and they said, Henry, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm not doing what you're doing. So go in there and give it your best shot, but I think I'm changing everything by Monday.
Oh wow.
And they're like, really? And I go, yeah. And these were guys I knew.
Yeah. Okay.
I said, yeah, they're going to let me do something else. So I walked in on Monday with some mutton chops.
Yeah.
And I was just dressed normally, but I went in and I said, okay, instead of being some samurai guy, let's make the guy an Elvis freak, almost
Right.
an impersonator.
Yeah.
And the director goes, oh, I can see it right now. I can see that scene where he comes in. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, that's what we'll do. You got the role.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Bam. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So we had to rewrite all my lines. But the director was great, Roland Mesa. He was great. And I tell you, the fondest memory was John Panette was in that movie.
Oh yes. Rest in peace. Yes.
And John and I got to hang out. And there were times when Roland Mesa, the director, he'd go, okay, and this is back with film.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he goes, okay, we got a few more feet left for the day. Henry, let's get that scene together. And Henry, you and John just do what you do.
Oh wow.
And so he and I would just riff, and none of it made the movie because it was like had nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
But it was funny. We'd start kind of in character and context of the plot, but then we would just go off on a tangent. And we finally had to tell the other actors, look, just jump in and hang on and try not to interrupt us.
That's tough. I mean, when I was on Eastbound and Down, I was looking up to everybody on the set. I was already a fan of the show, and then they started riffing, and I didn't know that I had permission to riff. And I was just sitting back like, oh, where do I jump in? So it can be scary, but you already knew Panette. It was easy, I'm sure, for you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and you could have riffed galore, man. I wish they'd have given you the green light. Eastbound and Down, great show. You're great in it, by the
Oh,
way.
thanks, man. Yeah, eventually I did. It just took that first day. I was scared to death, but
Well, the first day you feel like you don't belong,
right, yeah,
right?
yeah. You're lucky to be there. I was a fan watching them.
Right. And now you're not going to do anything to mess it up.
Yeah,
You're not right.
yeah,
And that's the way to always approach it. I mean, until they give you the green light,
yeah.
there's no reason. But yeah, Panette, we had a great time.
Take me back for those people who I said might be living under a rock and don't know much about Henry Cho. Take me back from the very beginning, when you started, why you started, where were you when you started, all of it.
Okay, so I was at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, my hometown. And a buddy of mine asked me, I'll never get this. So we're painting houses after school to earn money. And this is late in my college career, late. And my buddy goes, what do you really want to do? And I said, I think I'm going to try stand up to get into acting. And he goes, what? I said, like Billy Crystal or Steve Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, but you're not funny. And I go, yeah, I know, but I think I can do it. And I said, I entered a competition down at the comedy club. He goes, have you ever been there? I go, no, I've never been, but they had a competition. I saw an advertisement in the newspaper. I called down there, and I'm there Monday night.
Oh, wow.
So I go down thinking it's 12 guys like me.
Yeah.
Never, first timers.
Yeah.
It turns out it's a real competition.
Oh, man.
A bunch of middle acts.
Right.
So I'm watching these guys, and I tell my buddies, I go, man, I want to fit. And I said, okay, when this is, I'm going to go up and do it just to get out of my system. Then I'm never going to do it again.
Oh.
And they said, well, if you're going to do it, tell the story about this, tell this story. Remember when this happened? So I didn't even have an act. I didn't write anything down. So I go up on stage and I destroy. I got a standing ovation.
Wow.
I came off. Jerry Kubak, who owned the Funny Bones back then, was standing there because it ended up being a big Showtime thing, funniest person in the state of Tennessee competition.
Wow.
For the Showtime Comedy Club Network.
Holy mackerel.
So Jerry's there and he goes, hey, how long you been doing comedy? And I'm like, that was it. And he goes, no way. And my buddy's like, yeah, that was it. And he said, I need an MC this week. Do you want to do it? And I said, well, what do I do? He goes, well, you do like 15 minutes and introduce the other acts. You work Wednesday through Sunday. And I said, well, I don't have 15 minutes. I got 5. And he goes, well, you do that 5, you're going to be fine.
Wow.
So I said, okay. So that was Monday night. I started working on Wednesday, and I dropped out of college on Friday. And that was 34 years ago.
Holy, that is crazy. I didn't know that was the beginning. So, wow. So you were you like when you were in college? Were you doing theater stuff? Were you?
No.
What were you doing?
None. No. Now I was a young life leader in college, so I'd have to do some speaking in front of high school kids and do some as we called skits, sketches. But I'd never gone up myself and did a monologue ever.
Wow.
And so I went up and. And it's my buddies just go, just talk about this and that. And I said, all right, and I did it. So remember John Hinton?
Oh wait, wait. Did he have like a little?
Living Single. He was in Living Single.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Which is on Fox or WB, I can't remember.
Funny
John
dude.
Hinton was the middle act that week.
Yeah.
And so I got his, he came up to me and goes, I heard you started Monday. And I go, yeah. He goes, okay. Well, he goes, well, say this about me when you introduce me. And I said, okay. And he goes, and go ask that guy. He's the headliner. Get his information so you can introduce him. I said, okay. So after the first night, John and I went and got something to eat afterwards. And he goes, is that the second time you've been on stage? I go, well, third, because I won Monday and then we had another round Tuesday. And so I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he said, you did 9 minutes? And I said, well, yeah, because I had 5 Mondays. And he's like, but it's not supposed to work that way.
No, it's not. That's why I'm so puzzled. I mean, that's everyone has that disaster story of like, oh, the first time was horrible, but I learned from it. Did you the 5? So you did that 5 minutes on that showcase in Knoxville. Do you remember the name of the club? Was it it
was a Funny Bone.
Funny Bone. Okay. Wow. And do you remember that bit? Do you remember what you talked about?
I remember my first joke was I went up because it happened. So that was Monday. So on Friday at school, I'm hanging out on campus, and this Asian girl came up to me, and she had the student annual at the university.
Yeah.
And she talked to me like this.
Right.
Because she said, can I take your picture to be in the annual? And I looked at my girlfriend and I looked at my buddies and I go, I reckon not.
Right? If you want to watch the whole version, the entire episode, click on this little square right here. Or if you just want to subscribe and watch them later, click on that little bubble right there. And thank you.